What is up, Karatics? In this video, I'm going to be giving my predictions as to what cars I personally think will get in the brand new 2024 December update in GTA Online. For those of you who don't know, Rockstar has already confirmed the theme as a new robbery business in the garment factory involving Pavel, and one new car confirmed so far, which is a new Bravado Banshee GTS based on the 5th gen Dodge Viper GTS. And that's all we currently know at the time of this recording. Now, Rockstar hasn't given us an exact release date for this DLC as of yet, but usually it's almost always the second Tuesday of December, which I predicted in my last video as December 10th, and judging by when the GTA Plus benefits end, which is Monday, December 9th, is pretty much an indirect confirmation from Rockstar there that we will be indeed receiving this DLC on December 10th, so about a month away. But anyways, remember that the following vehicle predictions are speculation. This video is based on a combination of what I think Rockstar will realistically add to the game and what the community has been wanting for a while. So the way I'm going to be structuring this list is based on vehicle classes. Now, I will be excluding motorcycle, open wheel, utility, go-kart classes, etc. since I personally don't think we're going to receive any for this DLC. So to start off, since we are confirmed to be getting new dispatch work from Vincent in this DLC, we are most likely getting new police cars with that as well. So, for new cop cars, we do have the leaked list from a few years back from the game code, which I'm sure most of you have already seen. There are 7 police vehicles Rockstar has up their sleeve that they haven't released as of yet, and those are a police variant of the Baddie 801 we already have in game, an updated police Buffalo, which Rockstar could maybe utilize the Buffalo STX for this. We already saw this in the GTA 6 trailer, for those of you who remember. A police Granger, which Rockstar could utilize the Granger 3600LX for this. Also, police B2, which would be an updated police bike of some sort. A police Panto, which would be very interesting. A police car, which I think would be awesome. And finally, a police Riata, which would be a very cool addition as well. And also to mention, for those of you who remember the other cop cars featured in the GTA 6 trailer, which were the Ford Explorer police car and the updated Ford Taurus police car as well. Also extremely likely is a Ford Expedition police car using the Vapid Illusion, and a Dodge Durango based cop car, which is very commonly used by police departments these days. Now, I don't really see any other possible police cars unless Rockstar throws a curveball at us with some sort of like older Camaro-based cop car, maybe even like a Dominator GT-based cop car, but you never know with Rockstar. I guess we'll see. Continuing to the supercar class, I personally believe we'll get a new exotic hypercar, such as a new True Fate vehicle based on either the Bugatti Bolide, the Bugatti EB110, or the Bugatti Mistral. Either one of these three I think are very likely, since Rockstar loves to add in True Fate vehicles from time to time. As for the second supercar, I believe a new one based on the Pagani Utopia is very likely. We haven't had a new Pagani inspired car in a while since the Osiris in 2015, and I think now would be a great opportunity. And of course, some honorable mentions also include the Lamborghini Revuelto, the Gordon Murray T50, the Koenigsegg CC850, the Koenigsegg Gemera, the McLaren W1, the McLaren Elva, the McLaren Speedtail, the Porsche Carrera GT, the Lexus LFA, and the off-road Lamborghini Huracan Storado as well. Now, Rockstar does throw curveballs at us from time to time with lesser-known supercars, so I like to put in some of those possible ones in here as well, like the Zinger 21C, the Nilu 27, the Pininfarina B95, the Apollo Project Evo, and the 2024 Alfa Romeo 33 Stradale as well. Moving on to the sports car class. This one is a little difficult as the sports class is so vast with many different types of possible cars they can add, but there are a few main ones that stand out to me. The first one is a bit random, but it's Rockstar we're talking about here, and I think a new Benefactor electric sports car based on the Mercedes Vision EQ Silver Arrow is very possible, considering the random EV cars they often add into the game. For our second car, I believe a G80 BMW M3 or G82 M4 is very likely, considering how popular they are these days. The third car I want to discuss is a new Grotti vehicle inspired by the Ferrari Monza SP2, Seeing as Rockstar likes to reskin a lot of their newer cars, I think they will take the SM722 and reskin it to give us one based on the Ferrari Monza. Some honorable mentions include the first gen Acura/Honda NSX, the Evo 8, the DC2 Integra Type R, the E46 BMW M3, the BMW 850 CSI, the Mark III Supra, the Mitsubishi 3000 GT VR4, the Lancia Delta Integrale, the 2024 Maserati Gran Turismo, the Cadillac Celeste, the Lucid Air, the newer DeLorean, and the Corvette C5 as well, which is in GTA 4. Now I know that's a lot of cars, but again, it is the sports class. It's really difficult to sort of predict these because of how random and sort of miscellaneous the sports class has become. But those are my sort of predictions there. Anyways, moving on to the muscle cars class, I believe a vapid vehicle inspired by either the 2024 Mustang GT Dark Horse or the 2025 GTD is very likely. Also likely is just a coupe version of a Dominator GT we currently have in game, which I guess would be nice, but I would love to see a GTD. Next up, I think a proper updated classic Vigero based on the first gen Camaro is not only possible, but I think very much needed in GT Online with proper customization, since the model of the original Vigero is kind of dated and the customization really isn't that great. And some honorable mentions here include the 5th gen Pontiac GTO, the 4th gen Camaro, the 1971 Plymouth Roadrunner GTX, and possibly a Benny's wide body upgrade for the Buffalo STX, based of course on the wide body Charger. And lastly, even some possible muscle trucks as well, like the Ford F-150 SVT Lightning, the Ram SRT10, the GMC Cyclone, and the Chevy SSR as well. Moving on to the Sports Classics class, I think a new vapid vehicle inspired by the 1960s GT40 is bound to happen at some point.
Yeah, like that's ever gonna happen.
But in all seriousness, I've been putting this one of my prediction videos for a while because I think we can all agree that it should be in GT Line at this point, alongside the FMJ and the Bullet. We also had the Ford versus Ferrari movie that was very popular, that kind of brought that car back into the spotlight and the story and everything of Ford versus Ferrari. I don't know why Rockstar doesn't want to seem to add in that car for some reason, but anyway. Next up, I believe a new Ocelot vehicle inspired by the Jaguar E-Type is very likely. It's one of the most beautiful classic sports cars ever made, and I'm honestly surprised we don't have it in the game as of yet. Some honorable mentions include the Ferrari 330 P4, the 1950s BMW 507, the Porsche 917, the Porsche 959, the 944, and the 356 Speedster as well. Moving on to the SUVs class, I believe a Grotti vehicle inspired by the Ferrari Budo Sangue is highly likely. I'm very surprised Rockstar hasn't added it in the game as of yet, considering they could easily make it the king of the SUVs class and price it very high, also make it a nice competitor to the Toros. Anyway, next up, I think a new Dubachi vehicle inspired by the Aston Martin DBX is highly likely as well, since we don't have a Dubachi SUV in game as of yet. Some honorable mentions include the Infiniti QX80, could be a random NPC GTA 6 car, the BMW XM Hybrid, the Mustang Mach-E, everybody's favorite Mustang, the Jaguar F-Pace, a Lexus RX or GX, again another random NPC SUV, the Jeep Trackhawk, one of my favorites, the Jeep Grand Wagoneer, the Hellcat Durango, the Lamborghini Lanzador, or an updated G-Wagon as well. Moving on to the off-roads class, I believe a new Bravado vehicle inspired by the Ram TRX is a high possibility since its direct competitor is the Ford Raptor, which we already have in game as the Car 4x4. The TRX has been a highly requested truck in the community, and with the updated Viper coming in as DLC, it would make a lot of sense for them to add another performance Mopar. Next up, I think a new EV off-roader inspired by either the Rivian R1T, the Tesla Cybertruck, or the Hummer EV are likely, considering the hype around them lately. Some honorable mentions include the newer Land Rover Defender, the newer Ford Lightning, the Suzuki Jimny, and the 2024 Tacoma TRD Pro as well. Moving on to the sedans class, I believe the Shyster PMP 700 we saw from the GTA 6 trailer is likely. It's of course based on the last gen Chrysler 300. I think it's now the perfect time for Rockstar to add it into the game because they're probably going to get a GTA 6 trailer 2 soon, so kind of with the hype and everything. Anyway, next up, a Genesis G80 or G90 seems very likely as well as one of those random NPC car picks Rockstar does. Now some honorable mentions here include the Audi RS6 Avant, the Mercedes E63S wagon, the Kia EV6 GT, and some variant of the Toyota Century. And lastly, we have the compacts class. So I strongly believe a new Annis vehicle inspired by some variant of the Mazda Miata is extremely likely. The Miata is a car the community has been wanting forever, and I can't believe it's still not in the game. It really doesn't make any sense, but anyway, next up, I believe a new current vehicle inspired by either the Toyota GR Yaris or the GR Corolla is pretty likely as well. Some honorable mentions include the AutoZam AZ1, the Honda Beat, VW Corrado, the Renault Clio V6, the PLP 50, or the BMW Isetta. Anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed the video and my vehicle predictions as to what cars Rockstar might release in the new 2024 December update. Now obviously these are just predictions and I could be completely wrong, especially with how random of the car choices Rockstar does these days. Most of them seem to just be GTA 6 NPC cars and such, but I think I've covered what most of the community is expecting for this new DLC. I typically get 2 to 5 cars correct in these prediction videos, so I guess we'll see. Definitely let me know down below in the comments what vehicles you personally think Rockstar will most likely release. Thanks again for watching guys, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.